Hey guys, what's up? All right. It's Double Deuce back. Now I've uploaded a couple of videos that were kind of off track. So, and I did that for a reason. Okay. Now you guys know I'm a diehard RC guy. You know, I like to build stuff, super scale. However, how do you build super scale if you don't know what scale is? So that's my video today. As you can see, I'm kind of working on exhaust angles and things we can repurpose, you know what I mean, recycle. And we'll get to that video next, and I'll tell you a little history on why I uploaded those Camaro videos. Okay, so grab your favorite smoke, beverage, popcorn, and whatever you want to do, and hang out with Denny today. So, here we are. We're back on the 55 Hemi Ingeborg V8 built, okay? Now, I have a lot of challenges with this, all right? And the reason being is because the only company that was ever out there that made something close to scale was Conley Precision Engines. However, he retired, you know, and he sold off to a fellow who still sells on eBay. You know, so if you want to find the quarter scale supercharged V8s, some of the you know, the chassis and wheels and tires and stuff, I will put the link below. His name's Gary also, and he's not in Australia no more. He's in Saudi Arabia again. And but this guy, he's like me, you know what I mean? Like he's seen something out there. So I posted a couple of videos of my old convertible, right? Now I grew up during that time when muscle cars were, you know, they were the king, you know. They still are. We got you know, shamed for owning one. I mean, I remember my father buying a 65 Impala Super Sport that had a transplant. It was an L79 365 horse, 327 4-speed. That was our family car. I remember him fighting for this car. Actually, he set my mother to go buy the car. They traded in the 61 Impala Super Sport convertible for this 65 Impala. And to me, to this day, the 65 Impala is the most beautiful car ever built. You know, it just has, it's stunning, you know. There's so much you can do with that. But, long story short, getting back to the point, the reason I posted that video was because during that time growing up, I was still in the RC. RC was very limited at that time. You know, it was like horrible. It was like Radio Shack was your best bet. The only thing out there was your Cox 049 Volkswagens, you know, and there's a lot of airplane stuff. Now, the airplane stuff was exotic. They had remote control radios where everything else was tethered, you know. Now, I'm not throwing out my age here, but I am 62 years old. And you know what? I've been around the RC world forever too. I mean, when I first seen the Tamiya Bruiser come out, oh my God, actually there was a Hilux back in 1982. When I seen that come out, God, it was like, thank you, Lord, man. Like we're on our way now. And then everything went to plastic and horrible, and when the clone came out for the Tamiya Bruiser, you know, and the HGP 407s, I jumped right on that because I know it was the second version of that. It was never the first. But hey, you know what? It came along a little bit. It had like differentials. You know, it had, you know, not the same gearbox that Tamiya Bruiser had. I still have a ton of those, and I still have a ton of the early Hilux ones, which are totally different. I've done videos on those. And it's all because of the tire size. You know, as RC progressed, all of a sudden it went into this lame buggy thing for a long time. Now, when Kyosho come out with the Burns, okay, I bought one. It was the most violent RC car I had ever seen in my life. You know, it was fun, man. That thing would burn the tires right off this thing, and you know, it was nothing but high performance. And we beat that thing into the ground for about 7 years before the engine locked up. And you know, I've taken pieces from here and there, and you know, made other RC cars out of it because we recycle stuff. And you know, so over time, that buggy had stayed that way forever and ever and ever, and it worked. It did, but why had nobody had the nads to like come up with something true scale? Now, speaking of true scale, okay, there's only a few people I know out there that are still living the dream of the true scale car. Okay, one was Gary Conley, who produced the, you know, the Conley V8, and then the Stinger. And the Stinger was really complex, and it was really expensive, you know. Now we got China building engines like the Ingenieur V8, okay. Now I'm trying to show you guys what you can do with the Ingenieur V8 by buying some aftermarket valve covers from another model kit, you know, turning the headers around, and you know, a little tuning on this. And now I have a lot of subscribers out there who bought these, okay, and you're not alone, okay. We're all working on trying to get this thing. If it's 78cc, this thing should be a monster. This thing should burn the tires off, just like the video I put up with my convertible today. That thing should melt the tires off this thing, you know. However, everything's an experiment. There's different stages of, I guess, people's world, okay? We're down here. We're on the bottom, all right? And you know what? I'm happy here. I was there, and I dropped back down because it takes, there's no love up there. None. You know what I mean? There's no loyalty. There's no, you know, there's no teaching. There's no nothing. It's steal, steal, steal. Show me, show me, show me. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And they all cater to each other. Now, on that second tier of life, all right, it's, if you want to go there, that's your choice. I decided to back down and be the humble man, and teach people like you guys out there who are my subscribers of how to build something really cool, and try to make it run like the old muscle cars did. And you know, there's, like I say, we're working on ignition systems, carburetors. I mean, all these subscribers out there that bought these are still, we're all experimenting, you know, and it's really cool in a way, you know, but it's a long, hard road. And for you guys that are, you know, getting into the hobby, or you guys that are at the top of the hobby, you know, and everybody in between, you know, it's a crapshoot, man. There's no information out there. There's nothing new. I chose to, like, step outside the box and build stuff like this. The only other seriously top-end manufacturer out there that I know that was into the RC hobby was Vic Elderbrock. Now, if you're not familiar with Vic Elderbrock, he was, you know, all the hot rod stuff that intake manifold valve covers say Elderbrock on them, he was into that. He actually had a custom-built sprint car from the day, and my buddy Ed down in Maryland, he'll probably remember this one. You know, it was a Conley V8 sprint car, and it was true to scale, looked great, but nobody ever seen it really run. You know, I mean, maybe a few people did, but that was way before we had YouTube and, you know, instant gratification with, you know, the internet and all this stuff. I mean, social media has really brought things right current within minutes of something happening, where back in the old days it took years for things to get out, you know. So, you know, like I say, don't think that I steered you guys wrong, okay? And don't think that I'm bragging about my cars, because I don't brag about my cars. I've stayed in the shadows for years of all the muscle cars I've ever owned, because that was me. I grew up on my father. I mean, he got me into this. Me and my uncle bought cars. Me and my son bought cars, and we have, we lived that life. That was frowned upon. Like I say, when my father bought his '65 Impala, he was so happy to get that car. We were all excited. That was a dream come true. For that car. That was our family ride, and I remember him going to visit his brother, and his brother owned a body shop, and we pulled in there, and we were all smiles, and he came out, looked at him, and said, "When are you going to grow up?" And you know what? At that point in time, I knew as a little kid, I was up against opposition with the world, because they didn't want the muscle cars out there. They did not want them. I mean, we lived a life that it was all experimental, and you had to know what you're doing. I mean, if you bought one of those cars, you had to set the lifters at least once a month, at least. You had to twist the carb a little bit here and there and tune it up, and you had to watch where you bought gas, because back in the day when they had the oil embargo going on, they were selling junk gas for premium, and you knew when you pulled out it was knocking and pinging because you had high compression, that you got junk gas, so you had to go right to the automotive parts store and buy octane boost. And I used to carry bottles of that around in my car, my '70 LS6 Chevelle back in the day, because it was a mandatory thing, because all that stuff that was, we learned from, I'm trying to tell you guys today for this, because just because they say we buy something and it's this, it's not. It could be something different. And, and I did a lot of experimenting with engines and stuff from all the manufacturers out there, the V8s, the 6-cylinders, the 4-cylinders, and there's some great ones and there's some really horrible ones, And, and I got to give it to them. They keep trying, And so, like I say, I didn't want to make this video super long, but I wanted to explain why I uploaded videos of my Camaro, because that's what horsepower is all about. It'll never come again like, back then. That was brutal dinosaur horsepower. Nowadays it's, it's all smoothed out, fuel injection, computers, anti-lock brakes and all that. Back then you had to know how to drive your car. That's probably why there's not many of them left. There's a lot of clones out there. So getting back to this, today I'm working on pipes. All right, so these are the pipes that I got with my radiator that I bought for the Honda Odyssey. Okay, the rear heater core. These pipes came on there. I cut them off and kind of slammed over the mufflers to make them fit over the headers. All right, they do work. You don't have to go out and buy exotic aluminum. If you buy one of those radiators online, it comes with 2 tubes on there that are clamped on, and you just peel them off, and you can use the factory mufflers that come with those headers right here from StirlingKit.com. All right, and and I want to throw something out there for Sterling Kit. Thank you for the love. I mean, you guys, I went down hard there, and a lot of people didn't know that I went down hard, but I did. But I'm back. I'm swinging. I'm coming back to make sure that RC will go on and on and on as long as I breathe. So, anyways, so take the pipes off your radiator, make them fit your mufflers, and yeah, they're a little harsh on the curve, but I don't think it's going to really kill as much horsepower, that we think it is. I would love to have this step up, because one of my subscribers said, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have like a weekend RC TV race or something like that with all these new products out there? That would be awesome. However, getting those people on that second level up there where we don't belong to do this, because it's all about ratings, it's about advertisements, it's about money, and I think it would work. Give me your thoughts on that. I mean, because if we had, the last time that I knew of a RC TV show was from Chris Chantinelli. He was one of the originators of RC Car Action magazine. You know, him and another dude there, they started this mag way back in the 80s, and you know, one guy was all strict business and, you know, dressed in suits, and Chris was rock and roll, man. He brought rock and roll to the table. He had, you know, that hair metal thing going on, and his models that they used to hire to be in the photo shoots were, you know, they were the hair metal girls, you know what I mean? They were stunning back in the day, and it brought your attention to the RC world. You know, probably a lot more than this old fat guy here with a goatee and, you know, lots of knowledge but no thrills, you know. But I think that would work. Like, I would love Engine Masters from Motor Trend TV to come up with a way to start testing these engines. I mean, you know, hey, David Freiberger, Steve Goldich, you know, and actually, I'm building Mike Finnegan's replica of his, you know, two-lane blacktop blasting me build here. You know, if that ain't calling it out enough, I don't know what it is, you know. You know, I mean, I used to have connections a long time ago when my brother was alive, because he worked closely with that upper echelon world, and he did all the research on a lot of the old NASCARs, the wing cars. He did all the research and actually verified the roll cage on the Marty Robbins, you know, wing car. You'll see at the Barrett-Jackson auction every now and then. And he didn't live long enough to actually see it go to the auction. But God bless him, you know, I mean, he was devoted. And, like, we were just that family that was, you know, cars were us. And there was, like, you know, we put cars here, kind of women over there, you know. But the women who was involved in the cars, you know, we got along fine with. The ones that didn't, you know, we didn't date them long, you know. But anyways, guys, give me your thoughts on the TV show. Because with even today's technology, we can come up with our own Saturday afternoon YouTube TV. And because that's how Roadkill got started. Roadkill was a Motor Trend backed show, and it's very popular. And they used to go to junkyards and buy cars just like my Camaro and go out there and, like, just drive them 300 miles, you know. But what if we had a TV show that would actually have RC cars that were scratch builds from around the country, you know? And it would be, I think it would be very catchy. I mean, there's a guy out there that we all have seen his Corvette, his C2 Corvette. Stunning, stunning, stunning. The work is, like, you know, top of the line. It has Bluetooth, it has key ignition, it has lights at work, and, you know, but the cost of those are way out of our league, you know. It's a rich man's hobby there. And I always try to stay within the poor man's budget on everything I build. Even though I'd love to, like, you know, spend the money on other stuff, you know, but when I'm 70 years old, would I look back on that and regret it all when I have no money and I'm eating crackers, you know what I mean? So, anyways, guys, give me your thoughts on that whole thing there, and give me your thoughts on the videos I uploaded, because what I found out was, it's not what you say to me, it's what you say to the world. When you put your comment down below, you're telling the world what could be the next coming thing. And because it isn't about what I make, because I do this basically for the bubble, for free, you know. It costs me money to do these videos, but I believe that if somebody doesn't do it, nobody will, because we have a, you know, an industrial built world now where everything has to have a return on it. My return is you guys. Your thoughts, your comments, that pays me, and I really appreciate that. So, all right, guys, I'm out. Take care. I'm going to get back on the 55 Chevy build here, and I got to go get some gas for my Camaro because it ran out, you know, and I want to go out and fire that mother up and, you know, have a little playtime with it. So, okay, guys, love to all. Like, share, subscribe if you want. Throw your thoughts in the comments down there because, like I say, you're the ones that are going to lead the world, not me. So, later.